I have a love-hate relationship with pedals. That's why I don't use anything, because I've always felt they get in the way of what you're trying to say if you use them wrong. You know, like, especially with choruses and things like that. Like when Edwards switched from those albums from being like straight in your face and then started splitting things left and right and chorusing and doing that sort of tone, which was amazing and creative and beautiful, I lost a lot of him. And I heard less of him and I heard more of what it was going through as the voice. And I really prefer any guitar player, you know, whether it's Brian or anybody else, Brian May or Jimmy Page, especially anybody, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, meaning sometimes it's not the greatest tone in the world and sometimes it's not the prettiest to listen to, but there's an emotion there. And I think pedals and what you do processing wise get in the way. The notes are there, but they get in the way of expression and emotion, because there's a physicality that you have in your fingers that, to me, it's like I always try to find that best straight shot from here to there, to that speaker, to that microphone, to the record. And, you know, and it's funny because recently, you know, let me drop a name, Steve Vai. Recently, when I was at Steve Vai's house, he wanted to hear the album before it came out. So I drove to his house. He has an amazing studio, and he's like, just let's play it from top to bottom. He's like, we're not going to stop. I want to listen to this now. And he stopped after every song. He's like, all right, now wait a second. I'm like, Steve was supposed to listen to this like an album. He goes, yeah, but the guitar's right there. How did you get it to be like right there? Like not right there, like right here. Like, like in my ear and in here. And I just said, because there's nothing there. There's no magic, no hocus pocus. It's always been a 57 and a 421. And I don't do anything to it EQ wise. And I let it be on the outside of the center of the speaker, on the, you know, outside the cone. And I let it go. And yeah, I'll use a little delay. Delay is different for me or sort of reverb, because it enhances what you've done already. What I need is the type of processing that becomes the body of what you're doing, you know, becomes part of that note. If you know what I mean, it's like more of, and I always feel like as a guitar player, the real you tends to never come out when you do chorusing or flanging or something, unless you want it for an effect. It's like an effect, or even to make it pretty. Like sometimes we do chorus with chorusing stuff, or you want it to by the way, you want it to have that sound and that just a big sort of body of just beauty, then you're doing it right. I don't think there's a right or wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being a pedal snob or anything, but for me, I love my heroes and the guitar players I heard when there's not much in the way of their hands, and they find the right amp to just be that extra voice for them to interpret what they're doing with their hands. And that's always been my goal. And amps have changed every album, but I think wherever your headspace is at, that becomes the tone.